I mean, I think The Thing is the best horror movie ever.
Hell no. Hell no. But it's okay. It's all good. It's all good.
Aliens up there. That might be like top 3 for me.
Aliens is the best franchise besides Toy Story. Besides Toy Story. Aliens is the best franchise, cuz.
I'm gonna let you have that about Toy Story because I believe in letting y'all enjoy things.
But good evening. Welcome back to the What's a Good Though podcast. We discuss movies and TV shows. I am one of your hosts. I am Jason.
I am Jazz.
And for the episode 216, we are discussing Evil Dead Burn. Yes, the latest from the Evil Dead franchise. So please like, share, subscribe, comment. Let us know how you felt, your feelings about this film. But before we jump into that, we do have a few of our guests in the building with us. From the Brick Wall Review podcast, but that's our freezing. We have our brother Dave back in the building. How you doing this evening, sir?
I'm good. I'm chilling, man. How's everybody here?
Doing well. You are one of our designated animated people, but this is our second time bringing you for something non-animated in the actual house. So this shall be an interesting conversation this evening.
Oh, it shall.
And crazy, scary, cool, our brother Chris. On Demon Time over here in the dungeon. How you doing this evening, my brother?
I'm doing good. It's been a little minute since I've been on here, but it's good to be back.
Glad to have you back, my brother. You don't let Lisa lap you, but it's all good. You know, you can make up for that. You can make up for that. But I'm gonna pass this over to our host, Jasmine. You know, the women only drive these franchises for some reason, so.
Oh, wow. Okay. I don't remember driving when we did Evil Dead Rise, but
I said the franchise.
Is that not in the franchise?
I mean, it is. Yes. But I'm saying no. Wait.
Go ahead.
I said driving in the franchise, not the episode.
What
you know what I mean? Like you have 3 women that have led each one of the last 3 movies. Now, previously it was Ash, a man, but now it's been women each time. Is what I was alluding to.
Okay.
Look at you. Thought too much about it.
No, I didn't, because I was definitely trying to plug when we did Evil Dead Rise. And I remember Jason drive. See what happened? Men need to let women finish what they got to say before they speak up. They do. But let me go ahead and get us started, Jason, please. And thank you. Gentlemen, we about to be spicy today. I know. Y'all please excuse us, but we are excited to talk about this film. But Dave, I want to say I apologize because I low-key feel like we typecast you for all of our animated projects, which is why I was
no, it's fine.
That you love horror movies. Because I was like, damn, we definitely could have called you a long time ago. But you said Evil Dead was one of your favorite horror movie franchises. What makes it stand out to you from other horror franchises?
I think it's the silliness of it. Right. I think it's the fact that I love the fact that the Deadites just are these just unhinged demonic presences. Like it's just, they talk so much trash and they have these people do so many horrific things to themselves. And it's just really just all seems for no reason. And of all the horror movies I watch that have like possessions and ghosts and stuff like that, it's like, yeah, you can knock down a glass for 15 days straight and think I'm supposed to be scared. Or you can just turn up the way that you want to turn up from jump. It's like, I'm not waiting for you to creak open the door for the 12th time in 4 weeks. Like, no, you're right there in front of me. Once I read from the book, which I'm sure we'll talk about, once I read from that book, that's the rest of my life right there. Like I just put an 18-hour time limit on my life. So that's the thing I love about these franchises, that it's It's pedal to the metal, beginning to end. Once you start, you're fucked up, and you gotta keep it pushing.
Were you throwing shade at the Conjuring franchise just now?
I was throwing shade at all the other ones. Conjuring, I don't even know the other ones, but I hate them all. I tried to watch the Exorcist ones before, and some of them scarred me, and I
understand, because I remember you said the Conjuring franchise is one that you be throwing shade at, but okay.
Yep.
Chris, you were with us when we reviewed Evil Dead Rise, and so I recall you definitely saying you are a fan of this franchise. Going into this new movie, did you have any expectations? If so, were they met?
Not really. I mean, I was expecting an entertaining movie. I don't know. Yeah, I didn't really go in with high expectations. Like, I wasn't necessarily expecting it to be bad per se. I was just more so curious on where they were gonna go with this franchise. But kind of like my experience with this franchise is kind of the opposite with Dave. I actually kind of don't really like the silliness. So like the early movies, I was kind of like, it's cool, but it was just like, I didn't really start fucking with this franchise like really heavy until 2013. Like I like the early ones, but I think I was like, when I saw 2013, I was blown away. And then Rise, I was like, oh, okay, wow, this is like a franchise that's like kind of rejuvenated. And then we'll get into the thoughts about this movie. But yeah, I don't know. I just, it looked good, but I was just like, what are they going to do with this?
Okay. I could definitely understand that. Jason, in this opening scene, we pretty much are getting a individual speaking on an audio clip, Dr. Benjamin Price. And when I did a rewatch of the 2013 and Rise for this, I was trying to figure out if the audio tape from Rise was the same person speaking in this one. It wasn't. But in this audio tape, he was speaking about a weapon that could kill the Demonites, the Deadites, excuse me. And so you see visuals of our character, Joseph, and he's finding some things, reading through books and everything like that. And so you kind of see a Deadite eye open up. And we kind of go into our introduction to this film, which kind of, I would say, picked up where Rise kind of left off. When Rise opened up, you see them at the lake. So what did you think about the opening of this movie, and did it kind of shape your expectations for the rest of the film?
Well, first and foremost, this franchise is racist. I gotta throw it out there. They kill their niggas in the first 30 minutes every time. They don't let niggas, and they put a lot of niggas in this, and they was getting rid of them quick in this film. Even put a biracial nigga and then killed him quick too. But did it? I mean, I don't know. Like I said, because it's just very. I don't know. It's just they're gonna kill everybody in this franchise. So you kind of expect, when you see people, they're not gonna last. And they never last whenever you see them. But of course, that first head that comes out, and that was Jessica's friend, in Rise, because the scalp, you see the scalp is still missing when they pull the head out the water. But then, of course, there's Jessica that's standing on top of the boat, that's fucking them up in this film. But I do like the way they played. This intro did play. When it came on, I think I lean more towards the second movie in this franchise, though, with that intro, with how they did that at the dock, especially when she was reading that book, when she was like reading it, and she was like reading, she was like, what the fuck? You looking over there? You don't even know what the fuck I'm doing over here. How's you reading it? But as far as with that, I don't think that shaped my expectation, but what did was I think the argument between Alice and her fiance is what kind of helped. Alice and Will. I think that more so shaped what I was expecting from this movie, because I think in each one I was trying to go back and I was thinking about, there's some themes that I feel like this franchise stick with or keep with, because I think the first girl, she was a drug abuser. They were trying to, but then the second one was just like going through it. It's like it go for like the most devastated woman at the time. At that whatever it happens, it's like it's the most devastated woman at that point in time or whatever. But yeah, what about for you? How was this movie for you?
When I saw it the second time, because when I saw it the first time, I don't know what I was watching. So me and Jason went to go see this when it first came out when we was in Houston, and I was a victim of treats. Watched the movie, saw it, couldn't tell you what it was about.
Victim of treats.
Nothing stuck. Don't ask me because you've been there, so we don't have to go into too many details. But I was just sitting there. I was like, I don't know what is happening. I'm just like, I don't know what happened 20 minutes ago. Jason is reacting beside me, like, oh shit. And I'm like, what just happened? Couldn't remember nothing. But when I watched it a second time, I was just like, oh, okay, they definitely getting to it. And it was starting to come back to my mind. And I thought it was so petty that the Deadite that was in the water, you said her name was Jessica. The fact that she got out of it, stepped on that black man's hand, and his skin is just peeling off. And she just go chill by the highway until Will came driving by. Like the whole day went past. I said, oh, okay. Yep, y'all definitely got time. I'm here for it.
Chris, what did you think about Will running over Jessica that conveniently came out the ocean and stood in the middle of the road? What did you think about that?
Well, now that we're talking about it, now it kind of doesn't make sense. Like in the moment, I was just like kind of fucking with it because I'm like, okay, like they obviously have a plan, and we had never seen the Deadites really coordinate or do anything. Like it kind of like what Dave was saying in the beginning, like they just fuck you up just because. But so did she lure him there, or did she? So they obviously knew about the family. So I'm trying to figure out if that, I don't want to say that's a plot hole, but it feels like a convenience because like, how did she know that he was going to be coming at that time? Did she set that up? Like, I'm just kind of confused about that. Maybe y'all can give me some clarity.
Dave?
I think I got you. So because, all right, so the thing about it is it really ties back to the book. Once the book opened up, that kind of like drew all the Deadites out. So I think what happened is because the Deadites just really just like to fuck with people, I would not put it past their plan to be, okay, we know who got it, but we don't want to just run up on them and take it. That's too easy. We're going to kill his family. Okay, we're going to hold everyone hostage, and we're just going to fuck with everybody. So part of the plan, even though I agree, it is a pretty, like, why did you even have to do all that? But
not just why, but how did they get the argument? Like, because they had the whole argument, just driving at the right time. Like, that's the part. Like, I get that they were luring them. I get that. But more
I think they definitely. I think the Deadite presence kind of set certain things in motion. I feel like because I think it was just like part of a plan to like let's trigger certain things, just set certain things in motion because we know, like I said, we know who has the book. We know we can get to them, but again, let's not act just stealth about this. Let's do the most insane thing possible and influence certain things to happen so we can get them here. Because that's the goal. It's still the torture, and which was also one of my problems because they came there, started killing everybody, and then started asking, "Where is it? Give it to us." And it's like, no, maybe you ask questions first and then shoot second, but then I have to realize what I'm talking about here. They shoot first, ask questions after the fifth shot.
So y'all are saying you think the Deadite caused Alice's and Will's argument at the club?
That's what I
don't think that's what it was because I just think they were two married people that always have gotten arguments. The fact that the brother and his girlfriend were so used to it, they were just like, cool vibes only tonight, to where it's like these two are always arguing. I just think the Deadite was just chilling there for the entire time because once he hit her, she turned around and was like, we finally found you. Because I took that as, oh, y'all just been waiting for a while. And they weren't really trying to go to that family for the book. They were trying to go to the family for that knife. The knife is what they pretty much wanted. That's pretty much what they was after. But I thought this movie was interesting because, correct me if I'm wrong, have we ever seen a Deadite speak the words and somebody else get possessed?
No, that's a first.
No. Yeah, that's
a first.
I thought that was very interesting that we saw that because I'm just like, wait a minute. So if y'all can do it, that's like a cheat code. That means you don't have to read the book or play any audio if the Deadites are able to do it themselves.
So no. So you're right, but the brother started it. Like he the one that triggered it. And then once they trigger the Deadites, then maybe at that point they can pass it. So I think you're right as far as with them not being able to read the book, or them being able to read the book, but how they pass that to the next person, I think is more so how they pass it to him because they killed him, but then they passed whatever it was into him and made him a Deadite, which again he passed it to his dad at the once they get to the funeral home.
Well, maybe it's because they were killing him. So maybe they have, but they don't have to kill you to become a Deadite, though. Now that
They
I'm thinking
don't
about it,
because
so
the dad didn't die. Well, he
Right.
eventually died, but he
right.
didn't die. He just
That
got
kind of makes
touched.
to Jazz's point then, because she was doing like a curse and like was doing a spell and was
But
passing it on.
so no. What I'm saying is she didn't begin it though. The brother did. The movie starts off with him starting that tape and it playing.
But the tape wasn't saying anything, any of the scripture words. They saw once he found the knife, then that's when, because they
Yeah,
said don't open up nothing, but he did the complete opposite and he opened up
yeah.
what the knives were in, and then that is when you had Jessica say, "Oh,
Mm.
let me go ahead and wake up. My spidey senses or my deadite senses are tingling, and I need to go find the family."
Or maybe it's
So
like did he bleed at all when he touched that
No,
knife? No.
no, you didn't even see the
no, just
knife.
Oh, okay.
I think
But
it's a case of like if you summon it or if they're summoned somehow through whether you read the book or something that's not supposed to be open or touched is open, touched, or revealed, and they're summoned to Earth. I think that's when they start to they can do whatever it is. Like they can do the incantations, they can say the words and everything, but they have to be summoned up there first.
Well, but the summoning was reading it though. Like in all the first five, because it also gives you the warning, like don't read this. But
right.
Right.
everyone opens it. So they might just be changing the lore, but I think it has always been that like you have to open the book and read it. But I think Jason, but to Jazz's point, what she was saying was like like in all the other movies, they had to like cut you or do something to you or grab you or get blood on
Mm-hmm.
you, and that is what transformed you. They were just doing the spell, so they don't have to even attack you. Is
And they
that what
kind
you were
and they
saying to
kind of
that? Just make
yeah,
sure I'm following because they've never like had to do a spell before. But like the thing that makes the Deadite so dangerous is they don't have to kill you; they can just cut you, and then you
yeah.
become a Deadite.
Yeah, I think she more so like when she said the Deadite was the one that read the whatever the incantation to actually pass it along, as opposed to like you said touching or cutting or just a regular person reading the book and then that
Mm-hmm.
triggering the effects that end up happening. But the other thing I was going to say was they kind of be they play it really loose with all of that shit because I was
Mm-hmm.
watching Rise and everybody should have died in Rise because they spit that blood in the sister face, but she didn't get turned. But in that first movie, Shorty got spit up on, and then she was in there cutting her face. So they just kind of play it loose, however they want to or be convenient in those moments.
Mm-hmm.
I think with especially with the 2013 one, I think in terms of like that was intention to transfer. Like I'm gonna transfer this over to you. Like I think that's
Mm.
part of it too. So I think that's probably why like the sprinklers in the last one when the blood was coming out, I think that's why it didn't necessarily affect anybody
Oh,
because
no, oh
the
no, no, not
intention wasn't to infect, it was just to fuck with you.
no, not the sprinklers. It was a moment where like the girl spit in her face, like spit on her,
The
like
niece
it.
did because when she was
Yeah, she
swallowing the glass, she spit
yeah.
on her right there. Yeah.
Yeah, she spit on her, and and like typically you would think kind of like the was it 28 days where it's just like they
Yep.
switch, but it didn't at that point. I was like, okay, that's kind of
Uh,
interesting,
But,
but
but the issue with Rise though is because like it was a lot of they played it kind of safe, and they gave some of the little girl some plot armor, and I feel like a lot of the characters should have kind of gotten fucked up because like in all the other movies, if you got blood put on you, you became a Deadite. So that's like the first time to where it's like, no, we ain't gonna do that.
well,
That
the
I can
girl,
remember.
the 2013, she got blood on her too, and she did after, especially after she came out of it, she got re blood got on her ass again. Um, and she didn't die. But I mean, she didn't turn back into one. I was like, okay, that was playing it loose. And also the nigga, the David nigga, the one that read the book, his ass had blood all over him from his girlfriend and shit. He never turned into one too. So, well, from his friend's girlfriend. But yeah. But back to you, Jazz.
Yeah. It seemed like they definitely want to pick and choose, but Dave, it might be the intent because if you look at it in here, you had Thea on top of Joseph after she slit her neck, and she's like all up in on his shit, and it's hurting him for his face. He didn't turn into a Deadite. I don't think he actually became a Deadite till after his father put his face in Thea's like crushed face. So I'm just like, okay, so maybe it is intent to where it's just like I consent for you to change into a Deadite. I don't know.
Maybe it's not blood then. Maybe it's like you have to get like, I know that if you get scratched or something, you turn, but maybe it's not blood because that's too many instances. And I haven't rewatched all the movies, but that's too many examples of like blood getting on them and them not turning. And I've never heard someone say that like this is like an inconsistency. So maybe they have to get like bit or like cut or something or stabbed by them for them to turn.
I mean, I'm standing by. It's just it has to be just intentional.
It could be.
That's why it makes the most sense. It's like
David's like it depends on what their motives is.
Yeah, because like motive is for them to change. She licked the denture and then gave it to the old lady, and then that's when she turned. Like, but her intention when she said that, she was like, "I'm gonna help you remember. You're gonna have a new mind." And,
that was so nasty.
I was nasty.
I was like, oh, I know the people beside me watching. They was like, "What's wrong with him?" Bold ass man. I'm like,
it's like you don't see what's on the screen. Y'all cool with that? That shit was nasty.
It was a lot. Wasn't cool with that at all.
It was a lot of nasty scenes in this movie. I'm gonna give him that. But Jason, you brought up a question I was gonna ask because you said your favorite intro was Evil Dead Rise.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so Dave, Chris, let me ask y'all, what was y'all favorite intro from the 3 films? Chris, I'm gonna start with you.
Ooh, I'm gonna go Rise too. Like Rise was that was a great intro. Yeah, I'm gonna go Rise.
Okay, Dave, what about you?
Yeah, same here. Rise was just hardcore. Like from the title drop to just everything. That was the one that for me as an Evil Dead fan let me know that I was in for a good experience.
Man, he peeled that bitch cap back. I said,
man.
That one was gory, man. I feel like mine was probably Evil Dead. I like the switch up. Because like, especially since we didn't have an Evil Dead movie for like maybe 20 years. So that switch up, that shit had me shook. Cause I was like, okay, is a girl, is she possessed? Like, what's up? And then it switches. I was like, ooh, I was a little shook leaving out of Evil Dead. But yeah, I think that might be my favorite one. But Rise might be that one, close second.
Now, Evil Dead 2013 does have the best, because like I didn't even think about that too. Just said it. Yeah, it was mad long since we had an Evil Dead movie up to that point. So that one does have the best way to get into the franchise, I feel like, is the 2013 one, because that intro is fire. That's what put me onto the franchise, actually, was the 2013 one. The intro was fire.
Because it wasn't too gory.
Oh, go ahead. I'm sorry.
I was going to say it wasn't too gory, but you about to say this is, what was you about to say, Chris? Because I feel like you about to choose violence.
Hot take, but 2013 is the best one, I think.
We not even there yet.
Okay, my bad. I feel like David kind of getting there, but I just had to say that. Okay, I'll zip it.
We are gonna get to it. We're gonna see which one.
Okay, my bad.
Yeah, but Jason, we are introduced to the first. Well, because we kind of pretty much discussed our first half of our main leads when they're at the club. What was your first impression of the first half of this group, or the kids, before we got to meet the parents?
It was, I guess, considering, all the conversations in real life, it was an interesting take in where they went with the abusive girl, with the abused wife in the story. I think that was well done because you had her, but then of course you had how everybody reacted to the situation. It was more so, hey, let's not do it this time. Let's relax. Let's chill, as opposed to actually somebody doing something to him. But I do think it gave you a great dynamic to hate everybody. So it was like, yeah, I can't wait to see this person get up out of here in the scene. That's how I felt about it.
Yeah. Dave, what about you? Were you expecting Will to be, of course, not knowing who he was, but just to see him, how he was treating Alice in the beginning of this episode, or excuse me, the beginning of this movie?
So I didn't know what to think about any of the characters at first, because I was like really trying to figure out. I thought my main focus was on the dude that read from the book in the beginning.
Mm-hmm.
I'm thinking he was going to be like the main focus, main character, and everything. I didn't expect anything of what happened to Will to happen at all. Like I wasn't banking on any of that, so that completely caught me off guard. But like seeing how it all played out, especially with how the whole storyline ended with Will, I wasn't expecting any of that at all. So it all caught me off guard.
Okay. Chris, since Joseph was the first person we saw in the opening scene, and then we see him at this, of course, at the club, and seeing him and Will's dynamic, what were your impressions of Joseph in that scene?
I thought Joseph was gonna be not the main character, but I thought he was gonna have a bigger role because, and they kind of hit us with a switcheroo a little bit. And to Jason's point, I feel like the characters, like they were all, with the exception of Tia, were all kind of shitty in some ways, or they kind of had like some things. But and like the director is European, and like European filmmakers, they take a different approach with storytelling, and maybe it's just because I'm looking at it through an American lens. But a lot of the things that the tropes and like the expectations that we have, like Asian and Europeans don't do that. So like with the character, I wasn't even sure who was going to be the main person. So I was actually a little bit surprised that Alice ended up being the final girl, because I thought they were going to be the toxic couple, and I thought maybe Joseph might have been the lead, maybe, or one of the focus. So it caught me off guard.
Okay. Yeah, I would say the same, because I was just like, I thought Joseph was going to be the main person that we were following through this, since we saw him in the opening scene and he is the one that had the recording. So I was just like, okay, he gonna end up reading this shit, and then it's gonna cause his family to get killed. So when you saw the Deadite kind of kill Will, I said, okay, I feel like they're offering something different for us in this, which had me more locked in on my second watch, because I was unlocked on my first one. But of course, okay, so Will dies, and now we are at the funeral. I'm be honest, this is probably my favorite comedic element in this, because the fact that they were just like, so is it construction? They still gonna be doing this during the funeral? Oh yeah, it'll be fine. It'll be done by the time. And then the woman is speaking, and they are still doing the construction. So it's just the comedic timing in this. I was just like, okay, I was here for it. But Chris, if you were to be like, I hated all of it in the movie, I wouldn't be mad at you, because I would kind of understand it in certain aspects. Because I know sometimes you just be like, why y'all just can't be serious? I don't care about the grandma and all that bullshit she talking about. I don't care that y'all doing construction outside. Go ahead and have this man's funeral.
See, this kind of made sense for me though. Like my issue isn't like the comedy just has to make sense. So like at a time like this, to where even though like it's the funeral, like it made sense because it's a funeral that's going left. So I was kind of fucking with it. Like I thought it was funny too. Like I enjoyed it.
My nigga laughs.
I was like, I know Chris hates this when I was watching. I was like, Chris definitely.
No, I didn't. I do not listen. Dave, don't listen to them. I do like to laugh. You just gotta. I just don't laugh at everything. I do think the grandma was like maybe went on just a little bit too long. I think that gag should have ended a little bit quicker. But other than that, I feel like the tone, it made sense. The funeral, like stuff that was like her pulling up in a hoodie and sneakers. Like I'm like, what is this girl doing? I'm like, well, it didn't make sense why she did that. But in the moment, I'm like, oh, she hates him. Like no makeup, like she got on a hoodie. But nah, I think the comedy for the most part found a good, nice balance.
Okay.
Yeah, nah, hell nah. She yeah, I knew off top. She ain't fuck with dude. I don't even know how she went. I would have been turned ghost on him.
Either. Why even go?
You said why?
Why go? If you're gonna pull up in a hoodie and sneakers,
wait a minute.
She didn't have a speech ready. That's crazy.
Do you need to have that?
You should have put her on blast for that shit.
Wait a minute. All right, Chris, you being way too hard on Alice, because rolling up in regular clothes, that's fine. He about to get cremated. And it's just us. It's like 6 of us here. It's not a major funeral. And funerals are for the living, not for the dead. So y'all about to get this hoodie, sneakers, all of that. Now, not having a speech. A lot of people don't be having speeches for funerals. She's still
for your husband?
For your husband? You can't even freestyle?
Listen, everybody mourns differently. And that is her husband, but that's also her abuser, which everybody at this funeral knows. So the fact that they were sitting there all shocked, then again, this family is trash. But but I'm just sitting here like, y'all sitting up here saying, oh, he was great. He was awesome. He wanted kids. They say he went to got a French woman.
Yeah.
Oh, it said he
Susan
liked French
was
cuisine, so he bought in a French woman.
Susan was such a bitch. But yo, I'm just sitting here. I was just like, the way that they was treating her, and she didn't want to go anyway. But she was just like, you know what, I'm gonna go ahead and do what I need to do as a wife, show
Right.
up, all of that. But they treated her
Well,
like
did she?
shit.
She didn't have. I mean, but not. Listen. Okay. So, but in the moment, I knew that they were toxic, but I didn't know he was as abusive as he was, and I think that was smart
Mhm.
to not tell us beforehand, to wait afterwards. But in the you peeped it before.
Anytime somebody says I wasn't like this prior until I got with you, and has he at the way that he was moving her arm and everything, I was like, yeah, he's definitely hitting on her.
That's
But
fair. That's
that's
fair.
just me.
That's fair. I just wasn't expecting this movie to go there, so I just thought they were just like a really shitty couple. But after seeing the movie, then it makes sense. Like I get it now. Why she ain't want to give a speech, why she pulled up how she did. But in the moment, I'm like, girl, why you even come? Like, and to not have that. But honestly, if I was really thinking, I would have been like, yo, how shitty would he have been had to have been to not for her to not have said anything. So like if I was actually like trying to like think about that, have my thinking cap on. So it makes sense though in hindsight.
JC, you'd be mad if your wife don't speak at your funeral.
Yeah, I probably would. Not if I was abusing her though, Um, I'd be like, you know what, that's fair. But no.
Dave, Susan was one of your standout characters through this movie, wasn't she?
Good Lord. I guess we could say that, yeah.
She was one of your most hated.
Yes,
What did it
absolutely.
start at the funeral?
No, I was cool with her up until I didn't really care. I didn't really care too much what she was doing. I knew she was going to be on some bull anyway, just because how she was treating Alice and whatnot. Like, all right, cool. I get you don't fuck with her, whatever. It was when she went to go put the grandma to bed. That's when her bullshit started for me. Because what you doing, Susie? Why you put the grandma to bed, number one? Number two, why are you falling for all this bullshit that these you saw what just happened, Susan? You saw this damn your husband possessed, put like 9 bullets in his face and threaten your whole family, and yet he's like, "Oh no, Susan, I love you. Let's be together." No, and he gonna go kiss it. You
But
nasty.
but you remember at the funeral, she said, "I would give anything to bring my family back together."
Yeah,
Man, fuck Susan.
The same people, the people that agree with Susan think that Grace made a great choice in Sinners. I said what I said.
Well, I mean, Susan was worse though.
It's all good,
Absolutely.
but I still
Yeah,
think
Susan was worse because at least with Grace, she thought she was doing something. Susan, like that didn't
Susan.
really
Yeah,
make sense for me. That was actually one of kind of like my like critiques of the movie. That decision just made no sense what Susan was doing.
No,
it
I think
was,
that was
but
very intentional, though.
it
For
was
at
because
least from a filmmaking point of view.
it was
You think so?
because in this you have to remember they knew her. They knew that their son was an abuser, and they still loved him through. I'm not saying that you can't love the person, but there was no accountability for them, and they also raised shitty kids. Even with the second son living in the house,
Yeah,
that reminded me of Bear in the house that his grandmother
yeah,
had gave, and he hadn't cleaned it, hadn't fixed it, had done anything with it, just shit everywhere, inside the house. But also how he was with his girlfriend, or his girlfriend, I'm assuming,
yeah.
in the car with the dad. Like that was fucking insane, but a
But
great
hold
scene.
on. How did that decision make sense though? Like y'all saying like from a filmmaker
So
perspective.
so for me, it was the complacency that a family had. It's like I'm gonna do anything for the love of my family. Even if we all became the evil dead, I'll do
Mm,
that for my family. Like they'll be
mm.
willing to go through all of that to bring everybody back
Okay,
together.
Yeah,
okay. See,
Like
and
I
for me
didn't
it
look
was
at it that
just
way. So what?
oh no, I was gonna say just for me it was just like narratively just how these movies flow. At this point, we have this smaller group of people inside the house, and we need a way to get things to go from 11 to 25
Mm-hmm,
in the
mm-hmm.
last half of this movie. So the best thing to do is go for shock value. What's the most shocking thing that can happen? Susan
Mm-hmm.
can be a nasty heifer and kiss this deadite, knowing that it's not a good idea, but being so blinded because, again, they defended their shitty family.
Mm-hmm. But
so it's just like it emphasizes that, I guess.
And I do think that is one thing that we've seen, at least in this new trilogy, because in that first movie it was a brother with his sister. Like I would have killed my sister. Then you have the sister with the sister with her nieces and nephew.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, nieces and nephew.
You right.
Don't do that.
Nieces.
Don't do that. I know what you're doing. I know what you're doing.
So I would have popped them. I would have knocked them out too. Like it wouldn't have been no more of them. Like there wouldn't have no Stranger Things. I would have took her out too. There wouldn't have been no Stranger Things. I'm pretty sure that's how she got in Stranger Things.
That don't make no sense. They trapped them together and you just would have killed them for no reason?
I would have still killed her.
For no reason. So you just a murderer.
For no reason? No, that was she was in the way. She was holding me back at the moment. I thought she had a deadite in her. I just took everybody out. I would have left her up there like Stephanie better help you next time too. But you got the sister dynamic, the family dynamic, but then this one you have the family dynamic. So you see it within a family and just, how they react. Because I also feel like in this, are we assuming, or has it been confirmed that Ash is the relative or the granddad that left him?
Nah, I don't think so. Nah,
because why is this pitch on the wall?
I think that was just an Easter egg because they gave the name. Yeah, I think
it's a random ass. It's a random ass nigga on the wall.
I looked into it. What? Nah, I know it sounds crazy, but I think it was because they gave like a name to the person, to the granddad, and it's not Ash Williams.
Benjamin Price.
Yeah, so it's like they're two totally different people. I don't even know. And also, this movie, the first one is set somewhere in the Midwest. This one has to be in California, I'm guessing.
The previous
because that's what the earthquake was.
I know the previous movie was in California. It didn't really say where they were in this.
I'm guessing it has to be the same because the old girl from the first movie, Jessica,
in that
popped up in this. So I'm guessing it has to be the same one. But they could move, so that doesn't necessarily mean anything. I just don't know if Ash,
because they was on vacation too. In that movie, they was on vacation because she wasn't a part of it. She was leaving her apartment, and that they were just there, and that's how she got infected.
Yeah,
I think the first one was in Tennessee. Not that really matters, but I think it was like somewhere in the mountains. But I don't think they're in the same place. And then Ash versus Evil Dead, I'm assuming is canon. And I think that might be in the Midwest, I think. So I don't think it's in the same place. I don't think that's the granddad.
Got you.
Yeah, it might have just been Bruce Campbell's way of getting into the movie without having to actually do anything too. So
yeah. I mean, that's his voice that be talking though, like on the video, the tape and shit. So shout out to him.
I got a question before we get to the family at the house. Did y'all think the coroner was going to drop the body?
Yeah,
I feel like as he was rolling out of there, I was just like, oh, he gonna drop the body, and then the essence of the deadite is gonna come out, and it's gonna go into somebody here. That's what I thought was gonna happen. I was just like, that's gonna be fucked up. But then when he got to the room,
yeah.
Hey, the coroner almost saved the entire movie too because he wouldn't have heard the knock or nothing like that. That's why I said the Deadites player had to be more oddly. It was a lot of ex machina, but it definitely was like it was convenient for them, and it had to be thought out to some degree because, like, for them to actually know the dad walked in there to knock on the casket. I mean, that's the only way they really got it.
I mean, but okay, let me ask y'all this: the deadite that said the words to Will, that head, we don't know where that went. Did it get scooped up when the police came? Is it rolling around?
Oh, that's a good point. Oh, wasn't it? It was, I think we jumped. Was it at the end?
We didn't see it at the end. That was Grandma. Grandma was at the end because Grandma was over here with no legs.
It was another one at the other end.
It was another.
That's Ellie.
But that's Ellie. So that wasn't the head either.
Oh, that is a good point. What did happen to that?
Like, it's just dead eyes running around.
Just doing. I love it. Oh, I love it so much.
Which is so crazy. And the fact that they're able to say the words, that is very terrifying.
It does, not to jump ahead, but it does open up the lore in the world. Because something I was thinking, I was listening to another podcast, and I was thinking this. I do enjoy this. I enjoy this franchise, but I'm also thinking like, where can it go? Because the seventh one is going to go back to 1973, but I think there's an opportunity for it to expand because this premise is cool, but I don't know if I want to see the same thing over and over again. Like at some point, like I do want to see like the world expanded and for it to step outside of just from being like, okay, someone goes to the house, reads the Book of the Dead, rinse, wash, repeat. So I would like to see the world expanded.
But I feel like that is a franchise though, because I mean, it seems like there's a different chapter being used in each other movie, like each movie. Like there's a character from it, each time that's being created, and then that's the one that they're using to kill the people wherever they may be, wherever the book may land. Because like that previous movie, it was just an earthquake at the bottom of their apartment.
Mm-hmm.
And then they went in and were like, oh shit, what's this? And they just sneak,
Mm-hmm.
walking around, and he took the shit home for whatever reason he would do that. But yeah, I think that should, then this time it was a book or music that was stuck at his house, at the house. And they picked it up and not knowing that these are the things, but clearly this motherfucker knew it because he was writing notes all over the house, but he should have been telling his family, it's me for shit. That nigga just left. It's like shit. Hopefully you niggas survive.
But I guess with like a long running franchise though, at some point though, you do have to go forward. Like even if you look at something like Halloween, like it did try to explain lore and go forward. It didn't always work, but it did try to do things going forward. I mean, I guess like how many times do we want to see the same premise?
Would you say that this particular movie was able to provide some additional lore we haven't seen? Like we mentioned earlier, the Deadites saying the words. We got the weapon. I don't remember a weapon ever being mentioned in the previous films that could possibly kill them.
Yeah, they mentioned it in number 2.
Really? Okay.
Yeah. I only had to look it up going back and reading it because I didn't think so either. But then it was mentioned like kind of almost like not a throwaway, but it's mentioned in 2.
Okay, so it's like a breadcrumb, and then in this one we were actually able to see it. I was hoping it was a bit bigger. I was like, oh, that's a cute little blade. All right.
Well, if anything, this movie taught me not to stereotype your blades. If you're not sure which one, just use all of them.
Use all of them.
Yeah. Hey, don't stereotype your mystical items. Sometimes it'll just look like a regular little knife and nothing fancy. But I do think because she went for the fanciest one she could find.
I would have done the same. I ain't gonna lie. Yeah, it's definitely this one.
But I do think this franchise is more so, just it's the kills, it's how gross. What can we kill a person with more so than anything else at this point? And I think it feel like it's been like that since 2013. Just different ways in doing it. But like I said, there are some themes that do. Some things that do happen in each one. I feel like they do elevate, kind of like the dog or animal being killed.
Yeah, true.
I think that's one, but also the way they use a car is also one of the. I think that's one of the doper things, in my opinion. The way they use cars in these movies.
Yeah, for sure, and especially like Jason, when you mentioned different items, because some of the weapons used in the second film showed up here. Because I believe you got to see the cheese
grater.
Yes. That showed up here, and I was just like, "Oh, okay." And then you're gonna always get the chainsaw. That's just a common thing, regardless if they use it or not. But you are definitely gonna see a chainsaw. But family gets back to the house, and that's when all the action happens. Of course, Edgar, which is the father, he gets possessed because he has to break his son out since he thinks he's buried alive, and so he gets burned, and now he is one of the Deadites. So, Jason. We got Susan trying to get everything together in the house. She cooking a little bit, not really. And everybody's showing home videos of the wedding. It seems like they don't really remember Will outside of his wedding to Alice. They're just like, yeah, let's go ahead and put all these home videos on. What do you think about this scene? And especially with how Edgar was moving around, how he was speaking with Joseph, and how he treated the dog before he decided to go ahead and kill it, which is probably Chris's most hated scene in this, because he don't like when dogs get killed in movies.
But the kids, though, I think really set up how vile that the family really was, how complacent they were in that. But also just to kind of drive home the point, as far as with Susan, remember when the grandmother was in the bed, knowing that motherfucker couldn't stand up, couldn't walk. She's standing up and the mama in there hugging on the grandma, like, come on, fam, you know that's the devil. You know that's a demon, but she didn't care. She still did it, regardless. Didn't get shook, didn't shake, didn't get scared. She went to the window like when she was in from the From town and opened the window and let the demons in. Like I should like, come on, fam. What are we doing? What are we doing?
That was horrible. Fucking terrible.
Edgar was definitely on his Remick vibes from Sinners, how he was just waiting outside.
Yo, with the dog too. Like
yeah, it was definitely giving From vibes. I'm gonna say Pet Sematary 2 vibes with the dog and Sinners. I was like, okay, because I didn't understand why he was waiting outside. Because you don't need an invitation to come in, but I think he was just gonna let Thea do her thing. Out. Mm-hmm. Which, I mean, she was going crazy. I'm gonna go ahead and give it to her. She might be a top 3 Deadite from the past 3 films because sis was going crazy. I might have Ellie over her.
She ain't catch no bodies though.
But the thing is, she was out there fighting them niggas, Jason. Like,
I ain't showing no love. I ain't showing no love to a fighter. She got to catch some bodies. Edgar is a top 3 Deadite. That man, in that car, the way he caught Thea, I said, bro, that was wild.
His son helped him.
I didn't even think that was possible.
Joseph helped in on that death.
No, Joseph helped
on that death. Man, listen, that ain't all Edgar, man. Joseph, that was a feature. Joseph featured the death on that one. He did not love her. That scene was so crazy to me. Like,
so I'm still gonna shoot him bail for leaving, right? Because, like, listen, right? I see you getting attacked. I did everything I could. I'm gonna get out the car. But my thing is, I would have went back in the car from another way. But when Joseph kind of lost me is when he was just like, no!
He stopped and looked. Dave, he didn't run away. He stopped and looked. Thea, you out? Oh, shit, she's still in there.
She was in that thing.
Like, getting out the car is a good strategy if you're coming back to help somehow, which is what I would assume that I would do. But, like, he got out the car, had no intention to cut. He even had any intention of getting off the car and running. Like, he watched her die. Like,
yeah, front row seats to her death.
Yo, listen, watch the whole entire process. Like,
because I mean, even if he would have actually shoot his father in the head, which is what he should have done, it wouldn't have mattered.
It could have slowed him down a little.
Sometimes it does. Sometimes it does. Did
it slow him down when he shot himself in the head?
So he would have to keep going. Like because I'm saying because you've seen Deadites die. Like they die. You gotta really mess them up. Like, dude, he had the gun. He had the gun for no reason. It was just in the car.
He didn't know it was he didn't know it was a Deadite. Like, well, he might have known.
Chris, he didn't even fight that. He didn't even fight that man. He don't know what.
That's what I'm saying. Like, he didn't even fight him. Like if you have a gun and you see somebody attacking somebody, at least give a warning shot. He ain't do that. So
this nigga just hit my wife in the face. He's gone. Dad is gone. He's going to go meet. He's going to go meet the world's dad if he touched my wife. What?
That wasn't his wife. That was his girlfriend. She was a girlfriend. They weren't married.
Girlfriend too. Like, you're going to go meet Jesus Christ. Or the devil, wherever you going.
He ain't really even do nothing that whole fight though. Like, I will say that much. Like, he with the whole seatbelt thing. Like, what the fuck was that going to do? What was that going to do, buddy? He did nothing.
Joseph was Ruthie from Supergirl. Just there for vibes. That's it. Just there for vibes. Like, you go in the glove box and pull out the gun. But the thing is, Thea said earlier in the movie, "Oh, he just got that gun just for show." She was like, "Oh, he a bitch," but nah.
Yo, he might be worse than Ruthie because at least Ruthie stayed. Like,
at least Ruthie threw something.
Yeah, like ran. I kind of like they did that though with him. Like, he was frustrating, but it made this movie like unexpected because I was expecting them to tag team. Buddy was a coward. Like, that was crazy. It was frustrating to watch, but from like a storytelling standpoint, like, it was actually like kind of I liked it. I enjoyed that approach to the character.
I thought she was gonna get out that car.
I
Even though I believe in the trailer, it shows you her getting the headrest stuck through her face. I completely forgot when I watched the movie. I was like, Thea, get out of this, girl. You got this. Because she was telling Joseph, shoot him, nigga. Like, put the bullet in his head. Then once Thea died, I said, Joseph, you son of a bitch. Like, he went through the sunroof. He looked her in the face and said, all right, boo, I'm gone. And bounce. And his daddy
Jazz, he turned into the dude from 28 Weeks Later. And he's saying
his
family. He was like,
But see, Jason, he wasn't even the one from 28 Weeks Later. He wasn't even in the wrong as much as Joseph was. Because his wife was over here trying to save a kid. They just met 20 minutes ago.
Well, yeah.
So I get that. But like,
she was doing them all.
Thea was just like, your daddy kind of crazy right now. And his daddy jumped out that car. I'm not gonna lie, it looked like something from a music video. It looked like he was hotboxing in that bitch. I was like, yo, Edgar going crazy.
Man, he beat the shit out of it. That nigga said, you know what? Let me
tear her ass up, man.
That's it.
Why did he have so much aggression towards her and not Joseph?
Yo, and you would think, right? Because like Joseph was sitting right there, like beat his ass.
Nah, he was nice. He said, dude, he wanted his son to prove himself. He said, I'm not gonna whoop her ass. Then he said, Thea told him, he said, so now you gonna beat him. You would beat a woman, but you ain't do nothing to your daddy, huh?
That lets you know how the brothers are. Cause like when you watch it, you just sitting here like, wow, they're all complacent. And if Joseph was putting his hands on Thea, parents probably be behaving the same way to where y'all just cool with y'all sons being abusive.
Yeah.
And Jason, I think you might be onto something. He might have been like, because the Deadites do like to toy with you. That might have been because he said like when they were arguing that Joseph hadn't done nothing with his life, and he had pretty much said that like he hasn't proven himself. So that I don't know if he meant to do that, the director, but that might have been like, do something, prove yourself to me, because he was just beating up on Tia like. He was whooping her ass for real.
Yeah, till he was up in that house, boy. He got that nigga Joseph. He said, now everybody out the way. It's just me and you. Let's get it. Whooping that nigga on the ceiling. I said, God damn, he whooping your ass all through the house, up and down the house.
Yo, slammed him through an entire bookshelf. Not just the small ones either. Them big ass take 3 people to move bookshelves. Like,
yeah, I was listening to another podcast. They were saying they could see him being Freddy Krueger, the actor who played Edgar.
He was pretty good.
I can see that.
He was pretty good at it. He smoked it. He smoked that role.
Oh yeah, because he was even before that when he was just being an asshole. I'm like, damn, you a dickhead.
Yeah.
Like I'm like, yo, you really kind of mean, man.
Yeah, because he killed that role. I'm not gonna lie to you. He's definitely probably the worst character I've seen. He up there with some of the worst characters I've seen this year. Man.
Yeah, he was going crazy. The fact that we got I feel like the Deadites in this was just going crazy, and the camera angles,
the way they shot the way they shot it, the cinematography was pretty crazy. Cinematography was pretty crazy.
Probably some of like the best of the franchise.
Yeah. I think this is the best film one. But when you got the benefit of the first 2, of course.
Yeah, because
go ahead.
No, I was just gonna say like when Thea got to the house. And she just started fighting. She went straight to Susan. And then you had Alice and Joseph trying to help. The fact that we were getting the camera from looking at them above, I was just like, oh, this shit go hard. I ain't gonna lie, Jason. I think I stepped away when we went to move. I was just like, oh, this shit got me fucked up. I was like, yeah, this guy. I don't know what was going on. I was like, oh, I felt like I was in the fight. I was like, oh my God. But the cinematography in this one, I was just like, oh, they taking it to the max, because in Raj, you had a lot of the fights, or I guess the killing scenes through the peephole, which I thought was fire. Yeah. So just to see what they did in this one, I was just like, okay, they're definitely using different angles, which I thought made it so intense, because I was like, oh, y'all really getting y'all asses beat with this Deadite, but also fighting back. Like Susan was getting thrown all around.
Yeah,
I wasn't mad though.
I really enjoyed that teaser trailer a lot, because seeing it in the movie was like, man, what the hell?
Yeah.
Then you kind of see what actually happened, and I was like, oh shit, this movie's gonna go crazy.
That's honestly, that's my favorite moment in the movie. Like, just like with the cinematography and everything. I love that tracking shot. That is such an amazing tracking shot. It played well in the trailer, and to see it played just as well, if not better, in the movie. It's just like it was. I love that. That was amazing to me. I love tracking shots though. I'm a sucker for those. So give me a good tracking shot. You got me.
Man, that's hard. That's hard there, boy. But yeah, what I was saying, like, also I was saying, like, the as far as with the car thing that I was going through, because I felt like that stuck out a lot, and I kind of mentioned it. But like in that first film, when like they really strong, so the damn Deadite dropped the damn car on Mia arm, and she had to rip her arm off to continue, which she would have died. But okay, it's cool. But in the second film, they tried to run away, and I think they lifted the car up to keep them from actually leaving. So it was like the whole thing, they had them pent down inside the car in the garage. But then in this one, of course, him beating Thea ass inside the car. I was like, man, these niggas just crazy up in here. But yeah, that was I really enjoyed them using that element in the film.
I ain't gonna lie, the car in this one definitely at the top of the list. Well, it's, I guess, because like instead of using it as a device to either, you got people getting their asses beat in this one. It was like a setting. I'll say that. Right. Like you had a killing and all of that, to where you just like, I know he didn't just leave her in the car, but in the first one they was using it as something that could possibly, well, that did fuck up Mia. And so, and then also like in that was the first one, but then in the second one with them in that car. So I was just like, they seem like they're using other elements from previous films of like, okay, we're going to turn up the max in the next movie.
Right.
Which I appreciate.
Yeah. One of the things that I think that this franchise is definitely doing well now is making good use of different types of environments. If it's one thing I love that they're doing is like, they're saying, okay, and which is what I assume they would do for another franchise, Smile. It's like, okay, here's the premise. Well, here's what the curse is, right? And so, but what if this curse was in this type of setting? Then what would happen? I've seen a lot of people saying like, okay, what if Evil Dead was something that was like somebody read the Necronomicon in front of a bunch of people, like, and then everyone's going crazy. How do you escape a situation like that? And I think that if the franchise can find a way to keep it interesting, I would definitely like to see different situations. Like, how much farther can you go in having Deadites all over the place until it's just like, so out of hand that you see the craziest shit happening, and then who survives that? Like, I would love to, and I feel like they're going in this direction to where it could lead to some type of big catastrophic thing that can be something that's probably new to horror as a genre, because like you have, lead up to something big, and that I don't feel like that's been done in like a horror franchise before.
No, I don't think so. The closest I can think to that is Paranormal Activity 5, as random as that sounds. It set the seeds to do that, but then the sixth didn't go that way, because like in the fifth, this is super random, but they it was like an international coven of witches where they were taking all the kids, and that it was like something that was going on all over the world. And like the franchise was about to go into a whole different direction from just being found footage to being kind of like what you were saying, to have been like this big event. But then 6 just kind of went back to what it's always done. And then that's probably my fear with Evil Dead, because like you're saying, that's a great idea. Because now it feels almost like a comic book movie. It's not, but like a big event to where you can work towards something. But like at some point, like it is cool to see like, okay, Evil Dead in this situation, or Evil Dead with Black people, or Evil Dead in a different country. But also like I would like to see like work towards something so it can feel like an event. Because like you're saying, what happened if Deadites take over the world, or even like a city? Like that'd be kind of fun to, at least I think that would be fun. Because you're right, I've never really seen in horror to where something is like taken over. Maybe an alien, maybe, kinda.
Yeah, like
not really.
The monsters and stuff like that. But yeah, I guess and that's the potential in this too. The Deadites have all the leverage in the world to win.
Yeah,
and just have like the other final girls from these past couple movies just to be like, oh shit, what do we do? Like, so now, and then it can go into being its own thing. Like Army of Darkness, for example, is a perfect example, because it's so drastically different from the other two. But you do need the things that happen in the other two to affect what happens in Army of Darkness, even though it's a drastically different film. And you can do that again with Evil Dead, but then make it just more coherent.
Yeah.
But still throw people out, just out of what they would expect.
Shit, jumping ahead, but at the end of 6 kind of showed like that it could go in this direction. Just seeing what happened at the in the post credit, not sure how people feel about it. I'm seeing kind of some mixed things, but it has opened the door to where that could happen, just based on what happened there. Right. But yeah, like that's like I'm all for like movies taking risks, and like even if it's like it's an ambitious risk, like if you're doing something different, I'm gonna give you points for that, even if it doesn't fully land. Like Army of Darkness isn't my cup of tea, but it is very different, and a lot of people like it. So I appreciate that it exists for that reason.
Yeah, I'm normally big on like give me as many villains or people so we can have the body count higher. But I'll be honest, if you got a bunch of Deadites running around, I don't know how you're gonna have your people actually be able to defeat them. Like it's gonna have to end like, okay, so y'all just not going to survive. Cause like having a bunch of Deadites around, that sounds terrifying. Because I used to always be like, oh, let me see how many Deadites we can get. Like, how is it? And until you got this one, I was just like, it was one battle after another. Like, okay, we got this Deadite out of here. Now we got another one waiting outside. And then Grandma's one too. And now, oh, here you go kissing a motherfucker Deadite. So now you a half Deadite. To where I'm just like the whole family. I was just like, I was like, Alice, girl, I don't know how you about to survive this because they're everywhere. But I didn't understand Susan's transformation to a Deadite because she seemed to be like halfway.
I mean, I feel like sometimes it kind of like it's not always instantaneous, for whatever reason. Then I also want to say, I feel like you got to die to train. Well, no, because the dad didn't have to. But sometimes it's like you have to die to transform, in some moments, like to fully transform.
I guess that's another thing too. I noticed with this one because at first I don't know why I forgot that Deadites could transfer that shit to other people because I was like, oh wow, that's new. They're transferring it. I forgot they've done that this entire time. But I think there are halfway transfers to where like this is a little different than what it has been before. But it's like, okay, your transformation might be going a little bit slower. I don't know, because that's the thing too with these newer ones. It's just like they're doing a bunch of new shit that's like it's hard to kind of explain it. But like seeing it, at least for me, seeing it, I get it. But trying to explain it, it's hard to explain because it's like there's so many different rules that are being applied and bought in from other portions of the lore that people aren't like. Ash versus the Evil Dead honestly has a lot of explanation for a lot of things that happen, but it's kind of obscure. So you don't really know that you're looking at those things until you recall it or until you go back and see it. And it's like, oh, okay, they're kind of mixing that in and giving it more explanation. But that which makes it difficult to explain. But I understand it.
But I also say that because, like I said, in that second movie, when the lady Ellie cut her daughter's face, she cut her face and she didn't turn to a Deadite till like later down the road. Then she became a problem once Ellie got kicked out the house. Like when she got locked out, then she became the person that was actually doing all the killing inside the house. But she had been chilling for a minute. Then she went back to look at her face and she was like, wait, this shit's spreading. And then she eventually became a Deadite because when the auntie came back in the kitchen, she was eating glass. So I don't know if there's, I don't think they treating it like food that you put in the oven, how long it's going to take before you turn to one. But
I mean, I guess she was making out with Edgar. Blood in the mouth and everything. The grandma didn't even get that much DNA in her mouth from her denture, and she turned to a full Deadite. Like Susan was able to like, okay, I'm here, and it might be just the fact that she was still transforming into a Deadite, but she was also cool with her family being Deadites because she want her family around, and they saying Will is on his way, to where she was just like, well, I'm a part of Deadites, y'all, even though I'm still able to function normally. Her eyes didn't change yet. She was still able to make her own decisions. When Edgar was over here beating the shit out of Joseph, she said, you told me you wouldn't hurt him. She was still in her right mind and wasn't a full Deadite yet. She wasn't a Deadite yet until Alice locked her in the bathroom. But she was about to cut Alice's face up when the grandma had her on the damn blades thing. But that might have been, she was just like, well, Alice, you are the reason why my son is dead. To where it kind of shows you she doesn't really have to fully be possessed to be a shitty person. She was a shitty person before she ever became a full Deadite. That's how I kind of interpreted it, to where I was just like, okay, having a half Deadite, but still doing and rocking with the Deadites seemed kind of strange. But maybe it was just, we're showing you how Susan was a terrible mother, was terrible mother-in-law to Allison or Alice. And then I'm over here thinking about House of the Dragon, how she was a terrible mother-in-law to Alice, to where it's just like, obviously you don't have to be infected with the Deadite in you for you to still be a monster.
Also, it could be, so I'm thinking it could be one of two things. It could be like what Dave, going back to his point, to saying that it's about intent, that maybe that the intent was just to make her half a Deadite, not a full one. It could be that. Or it could be she wasn't a Deadite at all, and that she was only there to manipulate them, because their whole goal was just help us get the dagger. So we don't really want to kill you per se, but we want to use you to help to get you to find us, to find the dagger. And maybe they couldn't have done that with her being a full Deadite, or or being a full Deadite, because was she even a half Deadite? What did she?
You saw her make out with Edgar.
But like what happened after? I know she did make out with him, but when did she turn after that?
Well, I think it was more like because even while Jazz was explaining it kind of dawned on me. It's like, okay, we're gonna strike a deal with you, and the hold that we have on you is a failsafe. We're gonna let you think that you have control. We're gonna tell you to do this. You're gonna think that we're giving you what you want, but the minute you fuck up, or the minute we feel like we don't need you anymore, we're just gonna bring you over to our side and.
Okay.
Because we'll get what we want. Because even when she talked to Joseph and was like, "Hey, give me the dagger. Tell me what the dagger is. They're not gonna hurt us." It's like, okay, you made a deal. It's like you made a deal with the devil, but you still got your soul. But for right now, we're gonna let you think everything's okay.
See, that's how I took it, that she just made a deal, but I was kind of confused on what the rules are. But also, aren't there 3 books of the dead? Like, there's not one, right?
So lore-wise, yes, there are 3 books, but for copyright reasons, they always have to kind of change it around a bit. Gotcha. But canonically, there are 3 different books.
So maybe the rules are just different based on the book, possibly.
Yeah, I can believe that, because each book also has like different creatures inside of them. So, in Rise, they did it really good, because they showed the creatures in the book were what the family was turning into. And they kind of went there with this one, where I don't know if you guys remember, it was a part where they show a creature in the book, and one of the family members actually kind of started to resemble that, or something that was in the book happened within the family.
You talking about he looked like Will?
Yeah.
But see, the thing is, the book isn't featured in this movie. It's only notes from their grandfather.
True.
Like, nobody reads out of the book. Like, there's pages in the notes. And then luckily, but then she stopped. She was just like, fuck this. Which I give them kudos, even though I did not like any of the characters in this outside of Allison. You didn't really have too many stupid characters in this movie. You had
Susan.
Joseph was a stupid ass character,
but Joseph was a coward. I look at that differently.
Yeah, true.
Like, Joseph was a full on coward. He was a bitch. But like, as in stupid characters, Danny from the first or the second movie was stupid. Why are you reading and got the music playing at the same time on some spirits? Like,
oh yeah, no, he was a fucking asshole for that.
And then the homeboy in 2013, you going through this book that you found in. You see what I'm saying? You didn't have that
barbed wire off that shit. Took fucking nails
blood over there falling into it. Those are stupid.
I feel like Susan was just as dumb though. Why are you making out with a demon? That's crazy to me.
But see, Susan, man. But Chris, before the family, Susan she just wanted her family. Now, that was a terrible decision, but I think with the first 2 movies, you had characters make stupid decisions that domino affected, that fucked up everybody. This one kind of removed that element, because the Deadites was out here saying their own shit, and they was possessing people on their own, to where they just kind of stumbled upon a family, if that makes sense.
And this is one of the times too where the Deadites. I've never seen a Deadite get confused. And you had them confused, and you had them kind of stop their plan and pivot completely, because the dad Edgar, when he was sitting at that table, he had a completely different plan. When he sat his ass down, he heard them start arguing and said, "Hold up, time to pivot." So this showed strategy in the Deadites, which is why I'm willing to believe that they had a plan somehow, some way, to have Will get into that crash, or to kind of anticipate that, or maybe it just wasn't clear on the amount of time that actually passed between the girl coming out of the water and the car crash. Because what I didn't like is that they showed that whole beginning part, and then they showed all the events that led up to it, but they weren't clear that that's what they were showing until you actually see the car riding down the road.
Right.
So,
Mr. Rick, I like that. I like
been there for about 10 hours. Like,
see, I didn't take that as it happened one right after the other. I thought it was like several hours, and she was just chilling out there, because it's during daytime when they're out there, and when he comes out, it's nighttime. So that don't necessarily mean it's been like all day, but I didn't think it was like that happened. He come around 5 minutes later. That would have been a little silly, but I guess more so like maybe an explanation on how they manipulated it. I don't know. Like, I do think that they knew it somehow, but it kind of feels like it's a little bit of a hole. I feel like there's a gap. There's something that needed to be explained. And that's a nitpick. Like, because when I'm watching it, I was
it's valid though. It's very valid, because especially with the other things the Deadites pull off in this movie, it was a lot of just like, it's real convenient that the dad walked in at this time. It's real convenient that the only person who could have stopped this entire situation got stopped from stopping the entire situation. Like, it's convenient that Will knew to knock on the coffin when the dad was in the room. It's everything kind of does have a level of convenience for the Deadites.
And so maybe the writing just need to be a little bit tighter in that regard. Like, if I'm going to nitpick, because like it does, you kind of do have to go with it and kind of suspend your disbelief, because you're right. It's kind of convenient, that all those things are happening, but it's such a good time that I'm not going to be too harsh on that.
Right.
I mean, you have demons walking around Earth, nigga. Your beliefs been suspended. They have.
But hold on, but hold on. But this is the thing, though. But when you're dealing with like anything with magic, there still has to be rules, and there has to be like cohesion. It can't be a free for all, because it can be fantasy and it can be stuff that doesn't happen on Earth. But like, if you have like a fantasy or magic or sci-fi without any sort of consistency or limitation, then you can just do whatever. And then now we're not asking enough of the writer, because then they could just do anything and just explain it well. Oh, well, it's magic. Why are you asking for consistency? We got demons. Like, nah, like, tighten up the writing. Make it make sense, even within the confines of it being supernatural. Because I don't know if you read, like, if you're reading any kind of fantasy or sci-fi, they have strict rules, and it's consistency to kind of explain away like any sort of plot holes and stuff like that.
And I also want to piggyback off of what Dave, you said, because also when you see Thea trying to get from the basement, the grandmother was just like, you got my money. And Thea's Deadite was like, yeah, that's what I got. I got open the door for me, to where it's kind of like, I don't know what this bitch talking about, but okay, sure. If it's gonna have her open the door for me, let me go ahead and agree. To where it's kind of like they just, like you said, like, okay, I guess we can go ahead and do that. But I thought that was interesting, because I was just like, Grandma, what is you doing? Why are you being left alone?
Why did they leave Grandma alone?
Left her, and it was going to put her ass to bed. Like, why?
In the middle of an apocalypse, bitch, go to bed. You are so worrisome.
Put her to bed is kind of crazy.
Nah, it was. I do appreciate the restraint they took with the grandma, though, because I expected her to be one of the first ones to just get possessed and start going crazy, and is going to use that the whole time. They used a lot of restraint when it came to the old lady, which I don't know if that's hard to do with horror, because you have such an easy character to just like have a lot of shock value and get a lot of dark humor from, especially with the Evil Dead franchise. They're about as childish as it gets. They had a lot of restraint with their grandma, and I got to give them props for that. I was Surprise.
I don't, because they like to play with their food, and I don't think there's any fun in that. Like, I think if you just come and like kill like a defensive lady, like I don't think there's any fun because they like to toy with you. And you said they childish, and I don't think they like I don't know. Like I was gonna say Michael Myers, but he'll be well now he kill everybody. But like at him, he's gonna kill you. He efficient with it. But the Deadites, I don't think there's no fun in that. Killing somebody that's defenseless.
Yeah, because you know, and the nice little moment from the Deadite, they were even concerned about Grandma's leg. What happened to your leg? The fake leg, like
they push her ass down on the ground and let her family come pick her up. Didn't change her in that moment. They just like, all right, bitch, I'm out the basement. Let me push her down on the ground. Because I'm like, why is she even alone? But I mean, yeah. Did y'all have like a favorite scene from this movie? One that just comes to mind when somebody is like, okay, so Evil Dead, Burn. What scene would you just be like that immediately comes to y'all mind?
The car, for me.
Okay.
That car scene for me, that shit was crazy. I was like, oh god damn, they going in. They really sticking with this abusive theme, huh?
Yeah, he was sticking the hell out of her with them little scissors.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, damn, I forgot that happened.
Edgar was crazy, man. Edgar was going wild. Like if they do put him as the new Freddy, he might cook. Let me take Might out. I think he will. I think he'll do a good job with that role.
For me, I'm gonna say the dinner table scene where they were arguing, because I think in that scene you seen that everybody here except for Tia is kind of shitty, and I kind of like I like some juicy drama, and it was getting kind of juicy, so I like that scene.
That's how Edgar felt at the end of the table. Oh, word? Hey, man, she said you ain't shit. Damn, you don't let her take that? You don't let her say that?
What you mean you're not gonna run the restaurant?
Nah, this is a good time to talk about this. Keep talking. Get him. Come on. Telling the other Deadites, yo, come on. We got this. I think for me, so I got two standout scenes that don't have to do with Susan. The first one, I don't know why. I absolutely love when the Deadite was dead ass confused about the grandma not having the leg, like the fake leg on her, because like what happened to your leg? Like I think that's hilarious because it's like again, just catching the Deadites off guard. Like they were really off their game in this one. And then the other one that I like is I like the ending, like the whole last about 10 to 15 minutes of it. I like that a lot because it's something that for me kind of played with my expectations because I was like, oh, they about to go all in and just kill everybody, like, which essentially. But I like how they kind of played that because I didn't think she was going to survive. I had no money on her surviving after a certain point, but which, again, she kind of didn't. So
yeah, and they've been definitely keeping with the theme of like having the final character or final girl, I could definitely say, going against that creepy monster at the end of it. Because I was just like, all right, so she cool. But throughout the movie, it's just like the Deadite is just like Will is on his way. And that's a Deadite that we lost track of until he showed back up.
That motherfucker at the end, he was like, damn, we got him out. What the fuck is that?
I'd be so mad.
I was lost.
From? And he was just talking all this shit. But I do have a question because y'all were talking about how the Deadites could have possibly had some type of effect on certain decisions that happened. Do you think Alice's visions or flashbacks of like Will having those abusive moments, did the Deadite cause that, or was that just the movie showing us past trauma events for her and then like conversations from the family kind of triggered that?
I think it was the movie letting us know because it confirmed, because like right after that she was talking about with the mom about how she knew that she was being abused and she didn't say anything. So I think those images were just kind of like to reinforce it to the audience. Is how I took
it. That's what I took too. From that. But you feel as if Alice became a Deadite, Dave?
Yeah. Because they show. I feel like when they show her eye at the very end of it, right before the screen cut to black. I definitely think she. At least I feel like I saw her eye, Deadite, infected and everything. So
I mean, I can see that. But I mean, her eye was bleeding the entire time, so it's kind of hard to say. But I'm with you on that. I can see it, but I didn't think that. But yeah, it'll be interesting to see.
Oh, these Deadites just running around. No, we got.
I love it. I love it. I love it because it also, and again, this is where Ash versus the Evil Dead kind of comes into play because there was about half a season, I think, that was like, what if everybody in the town turned into a Deadite? And things got crazy. I mean, of course, it's a TV show, so of course, you kind of have to have those type of things happen anyway. But now, if you're condensing something like that you would tell over the span of like 6 to 7 episodes, if you're taking like something like that and putting it into an hour and a half, because these movies are never that long anyway, putting it into about an hour and a half, hour 45 minutes with one character, one plot, one device getting you through the entire thing, what does that look like? Like these movies already do a great job of making something feel claustrophobic. They do a really good job at that, and they did one of the best jobs they did with that was the car scene that we all keep talking about. That felt like such a big environment, but it was still such a small space. I feel like what can you do with making a large space instead of making a small space feel large, make a large space feel small. And I that's where I feel like all the potential is for this. So that's why I love having the fact that there are Deadites just running around ready to raise hell right now.
And I was gonna say I think this movie is set in LA though, because Ellie, by her remains being there, wouldn't have made sense being anywhere else.
That's true.
At a just at a random crematorium, I think because she said she had no family that's gonna pick her up, and I guess her sister just said fuck it, it is what it is.
How were they even able to get her remains? Because wasn't it in that like shredding machine to where it was just like a bunch of blood and shit? Like, how would you?
Yeah, that's the other part in that too. Like, how do they even have remains?
Right, and then to put a name on it when it was her and like a bunch of other Deadites in that, so her kids too. So and then even neighbors. So I'm like, there was a lot of people in that.
And your disbelief maybe with that, but something like that. How would they get that and cremate them? And why? How did they get it? Well, I guess who took it there? I don't know. I'm not gonna think about it too much. The logistics.
Don't think too much now.
That post-credit scene had me a bit confused. I was excited to see her, but like it had me a bit confused.
You're not the only one. A lot of and like that kind of changes a lot of the lore then. And I was listening to another podcast. They were saying that the writers didn't really want to put her in there, that it was like a studio decision because she's popular and they felt like fans wanted to see Ellen back. Because really, you've never seen Deadites come back to life in that way. So it either can do one of two things. It can just like almost retcon the lore, or it just has lore we haven't touched on yet, or it's something that is going to be just shown and we're going to have to ignore it going forward. Because then if that's the case, then every Deadite could just come back,
So I didn't actively see this post-credit scene. I just read about it because it was super late and I was with some people. We all had to go. But yeah, so I'm assuming from what I read, I just know that Ellie came back. But how did she, like, what was that scene?
That was we went back to the funeral home where the kid, where the guy died, and it was like, well, we got to find a replacement for him since that incident happened. So my thing was, what, they never got mentioned at all in that moment. And I guess the dad just stepped over the dead body or whatnot and just left. Nobody questioned nothing. Nobody went back there and checked nothing. Nobody called nobody to ask for nothing. But okay, cool. So she's in there. The lady that did the actual funeral, she was in there. The funeral director, and I guess she was with her grandchild. And she said, "What's all these bodies? What's all these bodies for?" And it was like, "Well, some people don't come to claim them, so we keep them just in case, and then we end up throwing them out when we can." And Ellie's urn was there, and then the daughter picked it up and shook it, and then Ellie was in the mirror, and was like, "Hey, baby, it's okay. It's all good." She seen her, but then she turned around and she wasn't there, and then she was gone from the mirror. But then she looked back and Ellie was behind her she was pretty Ellie in the mirror. She was Demon Ellie behind her.
Ooh.
And Demon Ellie broke her she split her shit.
Ooh.
I mean, the scene is cool, but it just don't really make sense.
Right.
That's the only thing.
Yeah, I can see how that doesn't make sense though, because that don't make sense.
It's like making it's like making Stu a killer in 2026, man. It's just they just be
man. I told you I got a coworker who argues me down every other week about how they could have made Stu the killer every other week. Like
they should have.
He just said the same thing. He was like, well, you know what? Based on what we got, probably should have done that. But I digress.
Yeah, it's one of the moments where y'all bitch asses, y'all play with it long enough. Just do it. Just go ahead and do it. Since you want to do it so bad, just do it. You can't do it now, but they should have just did it. But yeah, man.
I don't know. I don't think they needed to bring Ellie back though. Nah, think about it, because like, I get like a studio feeling like fans wanted it back, but I feel like more than anything, I feel like as an Evil Dead fan myself, I do appreciate callbacks to other stuff, but I mean, if it's not necessary, it's not necessary. Definitely, because then now you're opening up a can of worms.
I think the best way they could have handled that is if you're gonna bring back Ellie, bring back her sister or her daughter. You could still have that scene and let it be like a nightmare, and the daughter or the sister wakes up from that nightmare.
Yeah, that would have been dope, especially like say with the little girl. She's super bright now.
Right. That would have made a lot more sense than you just putting her in there, and she's just like, "Mommy's back." Like, back for what? Like, you supposed to be dead. Like, what you mean? Like, that would have made the most sense in my opinion. But if you just go to the studio just to throw random shit in there, and we sitting here like, how does this connect to the story? Is this going to be? Well, you said the next one is supposed to be in the 80s.
It's 70s. Hell, it ain't in the 80s. It's a prequel. Like, it's going back.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
So they really fucking with us about that. They said what?
I'm nervous about it being a prequel. Like,
I'm excited.
I'm excited and I'm nervous.
Why you nervous?
Sometimes prequels tend to over-explain things.
True.
And apparently this is supposed to happen before Ash found the book.
Mm-hmm.
So now you're bringing in Ash's lore. Officially, you're bringing it in, potentially bringing that into the fold of what's going on now, which is fine. But if we're going to over-explain anything, over-explain the Deadites. Don't over-explain how the book got from a cabin in Missouri to a cabin in fucking South Dakota because it was on a truck. Mm-hmm. Like, don't try to feed it too much into what happens. Mm-hmm. Make it so that we can now, if there's a direction that you're going with this, make it clear in the prequel.
See, that's where I'm 100% with you, and that's what I hope they do. That because, like, if that movie does well, make it so that now the future movies can build off of what we learn. Because the cool thing about Evil Dead is that there really is a lot of untapped lore, and there's a lot of places you could go to. Like, this could be a very long franchise depending on how they want to play with it. But I'm with you. Some prequels can do too much. But with the fact that so much is unexplained, I think that they can dabble in it and then plant seeds for the future, because they don't even got to really go into Ashes. Actually, they could if they want to, but they could just do, because with there being 3 books, they could have just explained one of the books. But it just really just depends on what they do. But you're 100% right. Some prequels do a little too much.
Right. Mm-hmm.
It'd be interesting in seeing what they do. I think the last prequel movie I really enjoyed was the Insidious one. I think that was real good. I think that was done pretty well.
Number 4? Number 4, I think.
Number 4.
Yeah.
would take the lady that died in number one, and it was more so with her in it.
She's been in every single movie. I'm like,
she died in the first one.
She's in the upcoming one. Like, she's just like, look, y'all, keep giving me them checks.
She Tobin Bell of the Insidious franchise.
Oh yeah. But I guess if they with the new movie as a prequel, could that also be an opportunity for them to introduce? Was it the circle of what was the group called?
I know what you talk.
In the notes, in the notes,
Wise Men Circle.
Yes,
Circle of Wise Men.
Yes, that's what it was. Because like when we were listening to some of the audio tapes at the beginning of this episode, he mentioned like 1983. So if this one is going to be in the 70s, you could possibly get like some kind of context there to where you have a group that's just like, all right, so let's bring some more light to possibly the weapon. That could be an opportunity there to where not over explain it, but just kind of pick from pieces from the previous films and how they were introduced.
Right. That could be now that you mention it, they are kind of doubling down on this whole circle of wise men thing. They mentioned in the last movie, mentioned it in this one. So, I mean, if they do the prequel, maybe the prequel is just kind of dabbling into what the circle of wise men is, but not really giving too much away. Kind of like Chris said, like you dabble in it, but you don't give too much just until you see how well it does. And then that's when you go, whatever direction you want to go by then.
But at some point, though, with franchises, at some point you do kind of have to explain things. Like if the longer you go, and like same thing with like Terrifier. I know Jason and I like Terrifier too, but like with 3, it kind of running in place, and like it kind of becomes like a little bit repetitive. But like you can't do the same thing forever, especially when you're establishing lore. You ain't got to explain it, but you do have to kind of give like piece by piece. So I think Evil Dead's in a really good place because they could give us that without over-explaining everything, but just kind of give us like a little bit here, then a little bit there, and just build towards the future for however long, that takes. But you do gotta have to answer some questions, though.
Yeah, absolutely.
Because they can kind of let you know how possibly the book got into the cabin that was in the 2013 movie. How it got into the basement at the bottom of that apartment building in Roz. To where it's just like you can take pieces from that and kind of create your movie from there. So I think that could be kind of fire.
And Jazz, honestly, I'm just thinking now when you asked how excited I was for this movie, I ain't gonna hold you. I actually wanted to see Wrath more, like the one of the 70s. So that's the reason why I wasn't as excited for this one. And it was like I'm enjoying it, but the one of the 70s, like I need that right now. Like that's.
So that's the title for the next one. When is that supposed to drop? Next year or 2028?
28. Yeah, I thought it was next year. I would have been so excited if it was next year, but it's 28. And I'm excited about it just based off the title, Evil Dead Wrath. Like,
that sounds kind of fun.
Hold on. We cooking? Like
it could be pretty chaotic. And also, if you're doing a prequel like that, you don't have to end that movie where you have a final girl or a final guy. Like it could just be pure chaos and nobody survives. And only thing that actually survives with them that goes on are the journals, because we are still seeing them in the movies to where it's just like, that could be pretty fire.
Yeah, I'm looking, and for that same reason, the title, the 70s, I don't know why, I just feel like they can get kind of crazy with that. And you're right. We haven't mentioned any characters, so none of them have to live, So I think it go kind of crazy. But yeah, that's the reason why I wasn't, like, I was looking forward to this, but Wrath, like, I need Wrath. Like, I don't know if I can wait 2 years. Like, I'm ready.
And it's just the excitement that they pretty much, like, fast-tracked Wrath. Like, Wrath was starting to get filmed around when Burn was finishing getting filmed.
Yeah.
So it's like, oh, y'all must be cooking. But I hear y'all mention the 2013 one as part of this this portion or this leg of the Evil Dead franchise. And although there is debate that I know of that is like whether or not 2013 actually does apply to what happens. There are some people who think it's an alternate universe or its own standalone thing. And there are people that believe that it is tied to these. Do you think that, because Jazz, you mentioned an interesting point, they can explain how one of the journals got into the cabin for 2013. do you think that at some point, even if it's not in Wrath, where they can kind of plant seeds for it to be woven somewhere, do you think that it will be beneficial for them to bring the 2013 one into the fold? Or do you think that, maybe Easter egg it, slight reference, hey, blink and you miss it type thing would kind of just fare that movie better? Because I personally think it could be brought into the fold.
I would say bring it in because it was such a great film. The movie, I mean, I can see if you don't want to bring a film that wasn't good into the fold, you'd be like, all right, so we're going to treat that like the stepchild. But 2013's movie was amazing. Me and Chris talk about it all the time. Like, it is one of the best remakes in horror ever. It's a top
completely
5 easily.
Invigorated franchise.
Yeah. And I mean, low key, that they do it right, you could actually do a Evil Dead series. I know Ash has his own series, but you could actually do a side series that connects to the films.
I would not be surprised, especially if Wrath does well, because the Evil Dead movies don't need to clear a high bar at all.
Right.
And this one's doing well, regardless of what anyone says. This one's doing well. It has cleared the bar, in my opinion. I can see that. I can see an Evil Dead series getting announced within the next 4 years.
Especially with you got Crystal Lake, Welcome to Derry. Like you have, and then I think Insidious, I believe, it's The Conjuring. Isn't The Conjuring getting like a prequel?
Yeah.
So
it's a movie though.
Is it a movie? So it's not a series.
No. I've heard there's going to be a sequel series. I've heard that as well.
A TV show?
Yeah, about when they were younger. Like that might have just been in the rumor mill, and I don't know if that's verified, but I have heard that as well.
Because I feel like I heard it, but then they said they weren't doing it. But then I thought I heard like a month later that they was doing it. But it was like you have series or horror movies that are getting their own shows. So like with Evil Dead dropping every other year, especially very good films, I can see them saying, yeah, let's go ahead and get a series going with this. Because you can have a different cast. So,
I mean, go back to your question. I mean, I wouldn't mind if they pulled it in, but so far it does feel like it's its own separate thing. I wouldn't mind if they just focus on Rise and Burn, and then Evil Dead is just like maybe just like a quick reference, But it wouldn't hurt either way. I just don't like when references like and callbacks are too on the nose. Maybe like if you're gonna bring it in, then like make like just canonize everything. But like if you're gonna do a reference, let it just be like a clever reference, not something too on the nose.
Because if they do a reference to where like the book is getting wrapped up in that like black plastic wrap that the character from 2013 found, and he ripped it off, and then you see them wiring it up with like whatever wire they was doing it to where it could stick you, like that could be a very fire reference where it's like, oh, that's how dude found the book in that cabin in Evil Dead 2013. Now, if you,
I fucks with it. It's so much potential, and it's very exciting to see this franchise kind of just keep kicking its legs and being as successful as it is.
It kind of,
and with Raimi still being an honest producer, like that's amazing too.
I mean, it kind of just blew. Not like I know it's an old franchise, but like it just kind of had this a very weird resurgence because 2013 came, it did really well, but then it was 10 years from Evil Dead to Rise, so you went like 25 years from the third to the fourth, then 10 years, and then now like we talk about maybe like TV shows or prequel, so like it's had like a really odd like run, but like it's crazy because like this is a franchise that like. I was like, okay, this is cool, but now I'm kind of excited for everything it's doing. Like, I'm looking forward to it. And I was telling Jazz, just in terms of horror franchises, it's got to be up there now. Like, to be 6 movies in, I personally don't like Army of Darkness, but just because that's not my bag. But
it's a completely different type of film, and I can definitely see why people don't like it compared to what you had for Evil Dead and Evil Dead 2.
But you know what, though? From what happened in 2, I will say this, though. The progression does make sense because it does go. Evil Dead 1 is like truly a dark comedy. 2 is like kind of campy. And then 3, they just go full comedy. So it does kind of make sense. So like it doesn't feel like 3 is like totally out of place. You know, if it would be like if they made like a comedy after 2013, I'd have been like, oh, that's kind of odd. But Army of Darkness makes sense for when it came out.
Yeah, yeah. I think part of what has helped this resurgence with Evil Dead 2 as is that they just started taking it serious. Like they've taken it
Yeah,
very serious. Like
yeah.
Mm-hmm.
who would have guessed? And then knowing the roots of where it started and how graphic it was when it first came out, like the very first Evil Dead was graphic. You know, it still is graphic to this day. It still is a very graphic film. And it's like they took that portion of it and was just like, that's what's going to carry the franchise. And it's just it's very surprising to me that audiences today are still receiving it well, because you have movies, especially with horror, kind of pivoting to like different spaces right now.
Mm-hmm.
It is interesting to me that Evil Dead is something that still keeps his name on the board.
Yeah. But I think it's just it's kept his fans for so long, because those first three, people do love those first three. So, and then I think with 2013 got it new fans, and I just think that it was and also, and I guess we got to include the TV show, but I also think that break might have actually done it well, because like, even so, I love Halloween, but I'm like, yo, like maybe let's take some time off. You know, let me miss you. And so I think when people hear that a new Evil Dead is coming out, I think there's a certain excitement to it. I mean, I've already heard already that like a new Halloween, there's like talks of a Halloween being rebooted, like in the 2030s. And I'm like, yo, maybe like give it some time. So I think Evil Dead, like being patient, I think is reason why people are still excited for it.
Yeah. Yeah.
That makes sense.
That's how the franchise stuff. I mean, I guess with the horror stuff, I guess is, you know, they're creating new films, you know, not necessarily sequels and trilogies outside of the stuff that we kind of grew up with for the most part, you know, because you still get the Aliens, the Screams, like you said, the Halloweens. I think even they're about to redo Freddy Krueger. I think we mentioned that at the top
Texas
of the
Chainsaw
episode.
Massacre.
Texas Chainsaw Massacre about to come back again. So a lot of stuff that we grew up with. Like I said, you say you have some of the stuff like The Conjuring. That came out around the same time this came out. So Insidious as well. Well, Insidious was around the same time as well, them 2010s. But I don't know, man. I'm here for it. Whatever they got going on, man. As long as it's interesting, I guess I'll be watching. So
I think I know where Jason gonna land. I don't know was it good though, but I don't. I'm learning his techniques of these conversations.
Man, speak your truth, brother. Man, speak your truth, Jason.
We not there yet, Chris.
Every 3 weeks later, and he'll be giving hot takes.
My truth's gonna come after the was it good though.
Nah, bro, speak your truth, man. Like, it'll be well after the fact, and I'll be like, damn, why didn't you say that, bro?
I have no thoughts right now, brother. I only got one thought. It's already completed.
Man, that's cat.
I am catching on, and I'm so happy with myself. Nice little achievement for myself. But was there any other scenes y'all wanted to discuss in this film before we go ahead and get to why we are here?
Just the fact that they made that house hot as hell, which I thought was kind of it's hot as hell. We can't get out, can't open windows. Like, again, made a good job at making a small environment feel even smaller.
Yeah, they barricade themselves in with the demons. Like, come on, fam, burn that motherfucking house down and leave.
And also, Jason, it was snowing outside. Because I know that's something you wanted with horror. It's just like a bit. They weren't like out in the snow, like you would want them out in the snow.
Was that snow? I thought that was like ash. Yeah, I thought it was ash.
Was it ash?
I thought it was like ash falling from the house.
Well, just because I don't think snow would have made sense at that time because it wasn't cold. That's the reason why
it could have been though. But I did take it as ash, not snow.
Yeah, because I guess when Edgar was outside with the dog before he started shooting himself. Wasn't it? You said what?
When he blew the smoke, it started doing it then. Like when he blew, you remember he jumped out the car and he blew the smoke out his mouth because it was.
Oh well, no, that's because something was in the car that it was like an extinguisher in the car, that's what it make it so smoky. But when he was outside, when they were about to leave, It looked like it was snow coming down.
Yeah, I mean, it could have been. It could have been. But I did think it was ash for some reason. My mom made it ash,
I
not
thought
snow.
that too. I thought
It could have been. I didn't, but it didn't play a part to the. It wasn't a.
It wasn't a thing. It wasn't an element that the movie used where
correct,
you saw
correct. Like so, if it like if niggas in the snow running from stuff, then I'd be like, oh shit, this elevated it. But it was just like it started to snow wherever they probably filmed this out the country or something though. Probably not even in LA.
It was filmed out of the country. Someone said Sweden.
Probably because it's cheaper. Trump got it expensive as hell to film in the U.S.
Say that money. And then the next Conjuring movie is it's a movie. It's not a TV show.
Oh, okay.
What is the next? Is that movie going to be them when they were younger?
Yeah, the first communion.
Okay, I might have got that mixed up then because I knew they were going back to they were younger. I thought it was a TV show, but it's that.
I think they were trying to make it a TV show, but then it was just like, all right, we just gonna make it a movie. I think that's what they probably should just leave it alone. But
they filmed this in New Zealand. They filmed this in New Zealand, so that may be why.
Okay. Well, the reason why we are here, was it good though? Dave, I'm gonna start with you.
Absolutely. I love this movie. I can't help but to be a fan of this franchise. I don't know why it resonates with me very well. And I'm more than excited to see what they do with this, the different avenues they can take. I definitely say it was definitely good.
All right, I'm a pivot. Jason, was it good though?
Yeah, it was. I enjoyed this film.
I was waiting for him to kill that shit. I was waiting to be like, nah, I ain't fuck with it. I was waiting for him to do that.
I enjoyed it. I enjoyed it. Jazz, was it good though?
Yes, I enjoyed this film in my second watch and my third. My first one, I was gonna kill it. I was gonna be like, man, the transitions in this movie was trash. I don't know what the fuck was going on, and then it would just be like, yeah, Jazz, you just didn't remember nothing, but it was. Chris.
Yeah. And just what Dave was saying about like how this movie resonates with him, I'll just expound on that. This lore, the concept, like how witchy it is, how depraved it is, how dark it is. Like I love this. Like this is actually like exactly my type of horror. The isolation, the survival. It checks off like nearly every box for me. So yeah, I definitely enjoyed this.
So of course we hear. So rank the trilogy. Rank the new trilogy. I haven't seen all the first movies, so I can't say them, but I would like for you guys to rank the trilogy. If anybody's ready, they want me to kick this off.
I'll go first.
Oh, go ahead, Jasmine. Sorry. No, you got it.
I'm gonna say Evil Dead, and then I'm gonna say Evil Dead Burn, and then I'm gonna say Evil Dead Rise.
Okay, Chris, what you got?
Same. Evil Dead Burn, Evil Dead Rise. Can I rank the entire 6 real quick?
If you got it, go ahead.
Yeah, so I'm gonna go Evil Dead 2013, Evil Dead 1, Burn, Rise, 2, Army of Darkness.
Okay. What you got, Dave? You think long, think wrong.
So 2013, Rise and then Burn. Rise will forever have me by the balls because that title card drop was one of the best things I've ever seen in a cinema in my entire life. Like when she comes out of the water and the title comes up with her, like you don't do anything better than that. You don't. It gets no better than that. So Rise is definitely the second best, just because 2013 is the one that kind of really put me back on, and that is a movie that I can watch over and over again because it's just amazing. Now, if I wanted to be like Chris and rank all 6 of them, I think I'm pretty much in alignment almost. 2013 is first, then Evil Dead 1, then Rise, then Evil Dead 2. No, then Burn, then Evil Dead 2, and I have not seen Army of Darkness.
It's on Max. It's on Max.
Okay, I gotta see Army of Darkness.
Army of Darkness was fun. Like the animation or all of that, it looks really terrible. It looks really terrible, but it was a fun movie.
I think I'll go into it a lot more open to it though, because I've seen literally every other piece of Evil Dead. So like I've seen it at its goofiest to me, at least with the TV show. I've seen it at its wildest, at its most horrific. So I think I'll enjoy this one quite a bit when I get to watch it.
That's what's up. That's what's up.
What about you, Jason?
So, I want to go. Okay, first, Evil Dead Rise. Yeah, okay. That's my favorite. Burn is 2. Evil Dead 2013 is the most overrated, and on a rewatch, them are the worst characters I've ever probably seen in a movie, besides Freddy versus Jason. The worst fucking gang ragtag crew I've seen in a movie. I was rewatching 2013 and I was like, bro, I don't know what this shit is.
Well, they were trying to have an intervention, but they couldn't. They weren't equipped to have the intervention.
I get that, but nah, that was all trash. Everybody was trash. The whole unit was trash. I'm still trying to understand how Mia became a Deadite and got out that shit and got back to regular life, and everybody else died but her. Like, what?
Now the people, the cast was kind of trash. Like, I will give you that.
Like everybody, like all the, I was just like, oh, they picking these niggas off. Like, and she was just in the bottom, just screaming, yeah. I'm like, what? Then the brother, you think like the brother got everybody good. He gets stabbed by one nigga he was helping. Like, bro, nigga, what? Yeah, nah, 2013 definitely at the bottom. For me.
I don't know if you think about it. 2013 is the most like the first one, though.
Mm-hmm. It's like it's literally just a more serious to take on it.
I got it, but I have to. Like I said, I mean, that don't change what I said.
Oh no, you're right about how you feel, but just know that like
I gotta see. I gotta rewatch. I gotta rewatch it. I've seen it at some point in my life. Okay, but like it's like I like for the time the movie was cool. Like
you talking about 2013 or one?
Yeah, in 2013 it was cool. In 2013, it's 2026. It ain't that cool no more for me personally. Like I watched Cabin by the Woods. That shit's still hard. Cabin in the Wood. That shit's still fire. Insidious 1. That shit's still fire. The Conjuring. That shit's still fire. Friday the 13th, 2009. That shit's still fire.
No. You're crazy. You jumped out. You said Friday 13th. Oh, okay. I'm thinking about Nightmare on Elm Street. That was like you wildin'.
Okay. 2000 the 2009 version.
That was actually pretty original.
No, the Big 26 is just an opinion.
But I don't hate Evil Dead. I'm just saying, compared to the other films, I'm like, okay, I appreciate what they're doing. Like I said, I appreciate what it was, and like I said, for just like the lore and some of the deaths. Because I damn near was gonna put the nerd, the nigga that opened the book up in 2013. I was gonna put him in the same category as Joseph in this film, almost, you know.
You can put him in the same damn category as Susan, dumbass.
Yeah. Hold on, wait. When the first one, like he fucked up when he read the book, but he also said this is what we need to do. He didn't bitch out and just leave. He was actually trying to make like, okay, we got to go ahead and kill Mia, because the brother was like, I don't think I can do it. He said, bro, that bitch is possessed. I know I read the book, but your sister's possessed, so we got to kill her.
He didn't want to kill his girlfriend. She put the tears.
That wasn't his girlfriend. They was just friends. That wasn't his girlfriend. They was just friends.
Okay.
She was beating his ass.
Yeah.
That was the Scooby-Doo gang in that movie. That's what I always called them, which made the movie so much better for me.
But then you said, okay, so I'm gonna throw this out. Go ahead, Chris. I know my thought. Go ahead.
Well, no, I was gonna say, did y'all know people like really hate Rise? Like Rise is kind of polarizing. Like there are people who either like it or they hate that movie. Like I heard some people, they act like that's like the worst movie ever made, and I'm like, yeah, people.
I can understand the hate. I can understand the hate.
Why?
Because to some people who are like really like not even into Evil Dead, just certain types of horror, I can see the things that they didn't like about the movie. Do I agree with any of those things? Absolutely not. But I understand their point of view.
Yo, people hate that movie. Like,
I
it's kind of crazy. Like, there are other movies that I would say like are objectively worse done, but they treat like Evil
yeah.
Dead Rise like that's like a 2 out of 10. And I'm like, damn. Like, I don't.
Yeah,
There's some
guys,
plot armor, and there's some things to where I feel like they could have pushed the needle a little bit further and taken some chances. But I would just say, maybe call it mediocre. But people hate that movie.
I just need people to make movies with kids, like make them cooler. Like they can. Kids are sometimes cool. They always make kids trash. Like every time you see a movie with a kid in it and they like play a major part, the kid always be a bitch. But what I was gonna say was in Evil Dead 2013, maybe this is where the Ellie comes from because the girl gets killed in the beginning, right? Like the evil girl. Is that not the same girl that turns Mia into a deadite? Because she should have been dead and burnt up. But I feel like she was back in the middle of the street when Mia tried to run away. And then it came out of her and it went into Mia. Because there was nobody else out there in the forest that we knew of. But that one girl, when her family shot her and burnt her up in that thing, I feel like that was her. That came back to. I could have been true, unless that was Mia herself.
I thought it was Mia.
It was the thing that they'll probably never do in the Evil Dead movies again, and it was assault by tree.
The tree.
They will probably never do that again, and Rise kind of proved that to me that they will never do something like that in the Evil Dead movie again, because people got violated, and that's how Mia got possessed. She got violated by a tree.
Okay, but I thought that was it. I thought that was the same girl that got killed. They had.
It was just in the same cabin though. It was in the same cabin.
Gotcha.
I think okay. So the entity that was like haunting her, where like it came out of her mouth and then went into Mia, I thought that was like a version of Mia, but possessed.
It came out her pussy.
No, it came out her mouth, but it went into Mia. I'm not gonna say the word. 2 days ago.
That thing came out her vagina, bro.
It came out her pleasure palace and then went into Mia's pleasure palace.
It did. Yeah, that's how it happened.
Didn't nothing come out her mouth?
I thought it was mouth, man.
I thought she was throwing up. I think she threw up. I think she was throwing up, but if I'm not mistaken, it came out her vagina and went into her vagina. I was like, what the fuck is that?
Yeah, well, they do that. That's what happened in Evil Dead 1, and I feel like they handled that a lot worse. I mean, it was the 80s. So I guess it was like a reference back to that. But yeah, I think Evil Dead Rise kind of like alluded to it, but yeah, they probably not gonna go down that route again.
No, never again. Now, I understand why. So, and I guess that's why this franchise sticks around too, because it knows when to change. But
true. But also that first one, I guess but that first one, they did handle that bad because like they went from that to like cracking jokes and shit. And I just think that it was like really poorly done. And if they done it differently, then maybe that could be the thing. But yeah, I think they really kind of dropped the ball with how they handled that the first time.
Yeah. It's a tough thing to have to manage telling anyway, or using as a story device.
Honestly, they should probably.
Yeah. It was the last time they had to do that.
Yeah, because even if you do handle that with care, there's still gonna be people there were people pissed off about the dog. You know,
well, I expected that because he had to.
That was kind of unnecessary. Like that was
unnecessary as hell.
But you know what? It makes sense though, because I expected Deadite not to give a shit about it.
So Jay, it came out her mouth, but it still went up her vagina though.
But it was a version of Mia, but like a Deadite version of Mia.
It looked like her. Yeah, it did look like her though to me.
Okay, yeah, that's what I thought because I was just like, oh damn, Mia. Because then I thought like at the end of that, the entity that was trying to kill her was also like a Deadite version of her. That was fucking her up.
Yeah.
Ooh, but I do have one. What did you think though? Mr. Blaze said, I loved it. I thought it was perfect. It provided something new and fresh in the Evil Dead universe. So that's pretty dope. We can skip our Link of Thrones. But yes, gentlemen, thank you so much for joining us. Dave, please let the folks know what you have going on. Go ahead and do your shameless plugs before we get up out of here.
Just I'm still in the middle of doing the 20 and 26 review series where I'm going to be talking about movies that are celebrating their 20th anniversary this year. It's still a long list. I just recently got through one of the highest grossing films, which was X3, The Last Stand, and I will be doing a couple other films from the highest grossing list. So make sure y'all stay tuned to that. Odyssey review coming up. Follow us on Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, Twitch, TikTok, all that good stuff. Yeah, that's it. Just rock with us. Appreciate it.
Thank you. Chris, would you like to plug anything for the folks to follow you on any socials, what you got going on?
Yeah, you can follow me at Chris LaFleur on Twitter, at CrazyScaryCool, my online blog. Also, I'm going to drag two of my homeboys before the NFL season starts. We're going to hop on YouTube, and we're going to do a little preseason NFL review. So that's going to be next month in August. Yeah.
Okay. Looking forward to that dragging.
You think it's like drag him to the podcast or
drag him to the podcast? Yeah, drag them yeah.
Look at Jasmine looking for the mess, not
don't be acting like I'm the only one that be looking for the mess. Y'all be looking for the mess too.
And he like white mess, so I'm here for it, Chris.
You love white mess.
He do.
I'm like, just because Euphoria's done, Jason don't like white mess no more.
As I was saying though, guys, it's been a pleasure having everybody on the podcast this evening. Thank y'all for joining us in this beautiful, evil world that we discussed. But episode 216, Evil Dead Burn. Please like, share, subscribe, comment. Let us know how you felt about this film, this franchise. What is your ranking of the new trilogy, or what's the ranking of the franchise? If you that type of fan, let us know. Drop that shit below. But again, this is the What's a Good Though podcast, the podcast where we discuss movies and TV shows. I am one of your hosts. I am Jason.
I am Jazz.
And until next time, deuces.
Peace.
Peace.
Cabbage.